Imagine waking up one morning to find your favorite morning ritual is now a crime. Not alcohol, not tobacco, but coffee. Believe it or not, centuries ago, one nation didn't just discourage coffee drinking. They outlawed it completely. And the reason behind this shocking ban, it wasn't about health, money, or religion alone. It was about fear. Fear that a simple cup of coffee could spark a revolution. This is the bizarre story of the world's first country to ban coffee. To understand how coffee became so dangerous, we need to travel back to the Middle East in the 1400s. Coffee was born in Ethiopia, discovered by goat herders who noticed their animals leaping with energy after eating strange red berries. By the 15th century, coffee had crossed the Red Sea into Yemen and Mecca, where it became more than just a drink. It became a cultural force. Coffee houses, known as khaneh, popped up across Arabia. They weren't just cafes. They were meeting places, buzzing with conversation, music, poetry, and most importantly, ideas. And that's where the problem began. Rulers realized that coffee houses weren't only serving hot drinks, they were serving freedom of thought. In 1511, the governor of Mecca, Khair Beg, grew suspicious. He believed coffee houses encouraged gossip, rebellion, and sedition. Think about it. Large groups of commoners gathering late into the night, drinking a stimulant that kept them sharp, talking politics and philosophy. To Khair Beg, this was dangerous. He argued that coffee was as intoxicating as wine, and Islam forbade intoxication. He went before a council of religious scholars and declared coffee a threat to both health and society. The verdict? Coffee was officially banned in Mecca. Coffee houses were shut down. Beans were burned in the streets. And drinking coffee could land you in serious trouble. But here's the twist. Coffee wasn't intoxicating at all. In fact, religious scholars outside Mecca disagreed with the ban, arguing that coffee kept people awake for late-night prayers and was nothing like alcohol. Soon, higher authorities in Cairo and the Ottoman Empire overturned the ban, yet the idea of banning coffee spread like wildfire. Within the next century, rulers across the Islamic world, and even in Europe, would try their hand at banning the beverage. By the 1600s, coffee had arrived in Europe, where it was met with equal fascination and suspicion. In Italy, some priests called it the bitter invention of Satan. In 1675, King Charles II of England, terrified that London coffee houses were fueling plots against him, attempted to ban them outright. In Sweden, the fear went even further. In the 18th century, King Gustav III declared coffee illegal, convinced it was a deadly poison. To prove his point, he conducted a bizarre experiment, forcing convicted criminals to drink cup after cup of coffee every day, while doctors observed their health. The result? The criminals outlived the king and the doctors. In every case, coffee bans failed. The drink was simply too popular, too energizing, and too deeply tied to culture to be erased. Where rulers saw danger, the people saw freedom, and perhaps that was the real threat. Today, more than 2 billion cups of coffee are consumed every single day. What was once burned in the streets of Mecca is now the world's most traded beverage, after water. The story of coffee bans reminds us of a timeless truth. Ideas are powerful. Whether in a 16th century Mecca coffee house or a 21st century cafe in New York, the conversations sparked over a cup of coffee have the power to challenge authority, inspire change, and even frighten kings. So the next time you sip your morning brew, remember, you're drinking something that was once seen as so dangerous. It was worth banning. If you enjoyed uncovering the strange story of the world's first coffee ban, imagine how many more bizarre firsts history has been hiding. From forbidden inventions to revolutionary ideas, we explore it all here on The World's First. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and join us for the next story that changed history forever. And maybe enjoy a cup of coffee while you do.